Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. Today I wanted to show you a little bit how I color Christmassy things because I kind of was asked about it. And yeah, this is a very fast illustration that I just did. I know it's off center and everything, but yeah, I didn't want to actually look through all my coloring books and look for these little Christmassy symbols and then start a page and not finish it. So I thought it would be easier if I had like a little illustration where I could demonstrate how I color these individual items, and then you can use this kind of technique to use in your coloring books. Okay, so and I want to get started with this little Christmassy plant. I don't know, we call it a Christmas star, but I'm not really sure if that is actually also the English name. Probably not. So and I'm gonna use the polychromos for that. Oh, and by the way, sorry, my neighbors, I think they're renovating or something, so if it's very noisy, I'm sorry. Anyhow, I'm gonna use the light cadmium yellow, red violet, deep scarlet red, dark red, and the dark sepia. Okay, so what I'm first gonna do is I lay a light layer of deep scarlet red everywhere. Okay, and now I'm gonna use the red violet to actually go onto the edges here and kind of deepen it. And I am pressing very lightly because I'm gonna put on multiple layers, and yeah, just to basically darken a little bit the ends of the petals. And this is what I'm gonna do now for this entire plant. Okay, now I'm taking the dark red and I'm gonna blend basically the two colors together, and I also go a little bit over the red violet, but yeah, I don't use a lot of pressure, so just that they get blended into each other a little bit. Okay, and then I go back with the deep scarlet red and actually blend everything in a little bit more. So I then take the light yellow and I go into this area that I left a little bit lighter, and I'm gonna blend in the yellow for a little bit of a highlight. Then I take the dark sepia and I'm gonna color again the edges or the ends of the petals with the dark sepia, and then I go over it with the red violet, and actually I go over it with all the previously shown colors again. So basically I do a second layer of everything. At the end, I then take the red violet and go over the lines a little bit more to define the petals a little bit more. Okay, so and for this inner part, I'm gonna use these pencils. Again, the light cadmium yellow, and light green. And I'm gonna start with the lighter yellow. Again, you can use any kind of pencils that have these kind of colors. You don't necessarily need to use the polychromos pencils. Okay, so and then I'm gonna take this one and basically just do a little bit of shadow within this, I don't know, inner part of the flower. I then also take the light green and a brownish fine liner to define the inner part of the flower. Okay, so next we're gonna do these little twigs, and therefore I am gonna use actually For colors, we need a light green. Like I said, you can also use other colors. You don't have to use the polychromos, but this is the one I'm going to use. The light green, earth green yellowish, and pine green. And then we also need, again, the sepia, dark sepia. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take this light one and just, again, very lightly base everything. And then I'm gonna use the earth green yellowish, and then I'm gonna do this little, I don't know, flickering. Then I take the pine green and I do the same, but I leave out this one in the middle. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the dark sepia and I'm gonna go very lightly around this kind of twig thing. I then basically go over it the second time with all the colors that I mentioned. Okay, and now I'm gonna do that to the twigs over here as well. Okay, now we're gonna do the hot chocolate, and this is gonna be a little bit complicated. I sometimes even don't get it right, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult. But okay, just let's get started. And I use a lot of different pencils. So I'm gonna use the burnt sienna. Then this is the cinnamon. I don't have that in the polychromos set, so I'm just gonna use the watercolor one. The cream, raw umber. Then I don't know, I don't have a color like that. That's the chromaflow pebble. I think it's like a warmish gray. Maybe you could also use the warm gray one in the polychromos set, but I don't have that. Ivory, my cat, Bister, and then I am gonna use also the dark sepia and the Chinese white in the drawing. Oh, I have more. I am also gonna use the white. Then this is another color from the Chromaflow set, the peach sand. I don't know, I don't have this kind of color in the polychromos set, so I'm also going to use that. Then pink lavender color stuff, but you could also use just the pink color in the polychromos set, or any other pencil. It's just what I have lying around. Then I'm going to use dark red, deep cobalt green, and the last one is Van Dyke brown. Okay, so first I'm going to start with the cinnamon. Oops. And I'm going to base basically very lightly the entire glass. I think it's always a little bit difficult to color glass. I like it because it's kind of a challenge, but I still have my difficulties for getting it right, actually. And this paper, I think, is not really the best. It's a very cheap one because the pigment it's smudging all over. But, well, it's just for demonstration purposes, so I think it's gonna be fine. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the burnt sienna, and I'm just gonna go in and create some kind of shadow where I think the shadow is gonna be. Okay, and then I'm gonna use the raw umber, and I'm gonna go over it a little bit. And then I'm gonna leave a little part of this out where I feel like it's more of a highlighted shadow in area. And then again, I go over with the cinnamon, but very lightly because I don't want this to be too pinkish. Just a little bit of pink because I feel like there's always some kind of grayish pink in the hot chocolate. Okay, and then I'm going to take the cream for this kind of lighter part. And then I basically just take the bistre and go over it a little bit more. And I just go over it many layers, basically. Like I said, I then put down multiple layers of the shown colors. I then took the dark sepia and made the shadows even darker, and then I also blended it in with the burnt sienna and all the other colors. Go to do the glass kind of thing. And I'm gonna use the raw umber very lightly, and I'm just kind of like want to create this effect that the drink is reflecting in the glass. Okay, and then I'm gonna take, I think I'm first gonna take the cinnamon again, and I'm gonna go over it again. Like I said, I didn't try that out before. I just thought, oh, maybe I should record it. But I've never even colored that image before. So, okay, and then I'm gonna use a little bit cream. I kind of raised it a little bit more because it was too much, and then I'm going in with the pebbles and making it a little bit more grayish. I then noticed that I was actually missing another pencil. Okay, I need the glacier blue in the crema flow, or just a very light blue. I then went in with the glacier blue to give it a little bit more of a bluish tint to make it look more like glass, basically. I then first went over it with the white polychromos, but that wasn't kind of white enough, so I then also went over everything with the white Durbin drawing. Next, I'm gonna take the dark red and I'm gonna do the little candy cane. And I'm also gonna do this the same color. Take the deep cobalt green. So I'm also gonna use the dark red for this little lollipop, and I just go around it like that. Like I follow the lines with the dark red. And then I'm gonna take the, I don't know, pink, whatever. And I'm gonna color in the inside of the lollipop. This is my cat's toy, by the way, the weird noise. And now I'm gonna go do the little marshmallows, and for that I'm gonna use the pebbles, or just a warm gray. And also I'm just going to go a little bit on the edges. Ivory, and just go over it a little bit. And then I'm gonna take the white. I'm gonna take the Durbin drawing again and go over it. The same I'm kind of going to do with the cream. Then I'm gonna take the, I'm just gonna do one and then I'm gonna speed it up, otherwise it's gonna take forever. The peach sand, and I'm gonna go over it. And then I'm gonna take the cream. And then I'm gonna take the ivory, and I also go over that. And then, like I said, if you want a grayer, you just put more of the gray, and so on and so on. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of the glacier blue and also put in a little bit. Again, I go in with the white. Then took the raw umber and the burnt sienna to do this little cacao powder on top. Okay, so these little things, I kind of drew them a little bit too small. So, well, for this little cinnamon roll stick, I don't know, I'm just gonna use burnt sienna, the Van Dyke brown, just to, I don't know, go over the lines a little bit and make it a little bit more visible. Okay, and this little thingy I am gonna use the peach sand for this one, and the raw umber. I'm just gonna blend it in. Oh my god. And then for the thingies in the middle, I'm also gonna use the Van Dyke brown. And go over it a little bit of the lines. It's just very small, so. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do next is I'm actually gonna do, try to do that a little bit more like it's a glass. So to create a glass effect. So I'm gonna take the Chinese white and I'm just gonna go over a little bit of the lines and to create a little bit more of a glass effect. I think I'm gonna go a little bit darker here on the edges. Okay, and for the final step, I'm gonna use this little postcard pen that was in my advent calendar. By the way, if you want to see it, I'm gonna do an advent calendar series until the 24th now. It's in my shorts. Okay, so this was in my advent calendar, and I'm gonna use this Posca one because it has a very detailed fine tip, but you can also use a white gel pen. And I'm just gonna go around the glass to make it a little bit more white. Then I'm gonna go over this little candy cane. And I also want to give it more the effect that it's like made out of glass. So I'm gonna go over here, I don't know, and try to give it more of a shimmery effect. I don't know if that really works, but I'm also gonna do that on this candy cane. And I know the candy cane is a little crooked and stuff like that, but like I said, it's just a very small illustration that I just came up with. Okay, and then again. Okay, and then I'm gonna go also in the lollipop. Kinda go around it and add in these little, I don't know, swirls. Okay, also gonna put a little bit here and there, and here and there. Okay. Okay, and then I'm gonna go also over the cream. Okay, so now let's move on with the orange. I know the orange is actually way too big for this illustration. I actually started with the orange and just wanted to do little other things, but then I thought I would probably look better if that was kind of seen, and I built everything around the orange, but then obviously the orange was too big, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so for that we're actually gonna need also a lot of pencils. We're gonna need the cream, ivory, earth green yellowish, olive green yellowish, chromium green opaque, deep scarlet red, red violet, sanguine, cadmium orange, burnt ochre, dark Naples ochre, and Venetian red. Okay, so first we're gonna take the dark Naples ochre and just base everything. This paper is really bad because all the other pencil pigments already are on this. And I'm just gonna do one and then you can do the rest by yourself. Okay, so after that we're gonna take the burnt ochre and we're just gonna go lightly around the edges of the orange. And then again go over it with the yellow. And then we're gonna take the Venetian red and again go into the edges. And then we're gonna take the cadmium orange or the normal orange. I think there's a better orange in the full set of the polychromos, but I don't have it, so I have to use that one. Okay, and then again we go over with the dark Naples ochre. And then again you could like go in again with the Venetian red and the ochre to just make the edges a little bit stronger. And then again the orange. So like I said, it's just actually about layering as much as you can or want, but I'm usually not a fan of layering so much. But and then again the yellow for the sake of the demonstration. Okay, and lastly then what I do is I actually take the Venetian red, and it has to be a really sharp tip, and oh, my light is. And you can go in and create these kind of orangey, I don't know what it's called, patterns. Like that. Okay, I'm gonna do that now with everything and then I'm gonna come back. Okay, and now for the outer part of the orange, I'm gonna take the sanguine and I just go around okay, and then very lightly I go a little bit in with the sanguine, and then I'm gonna take the cream and blend it out a little. And then I take the ivory and go over everything. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the Posca and actually line it. I think it would be better if you had like an ivory, but I don't have one, so I'm gonna go, I have to go with the white one. And I'm gonna do that real quick now. Okay, now on to the little berries. And I'm just gonna take the deep scarlet red, then just take the red violet to create some kind of little shadow. Okay, I just added some little highlight on the berries with the Posca. Okay, and then I am gonna take the earthy green yellow, base it, and then I'm gonna take the chromium green opaque, just gonna create a little shadow, and then I'm gonna blend it out with the olive green yellowish. Okay, so now onto the pine tree. We're gonna need the light green, earth green, yellowish, deep cobalt green, and the pine green. And actually we're gonna do it more or less like these little twigs before. So I'm just gonna base everything with the light green. Okay, and then again I'm gonna use the same kind of colors, but one more, and do these flickering things to kind of make it appear like those are the needles of the pine tree. And you start from the lightest color to the darkest, and then you kind of repeat it. Okay, so now onto the snow on the pine tree. I don't know, I kind of lost my polychromos that I actually use for that. My cats always like to play around with my pencils, so I cannot find it, but it does not really matter. You actually just need 3 colors and whites. So for this now I'm going to take the Chroma Flow, and I'm going to take the blue orchid, or like a light to mid bluish tone. The pink heather, it's like a very light purple, and the glacier blue, which is like a very light blue. So I'm gonna take this one and demonstrate it, and then I'm gonna do it. So I just start with the mid blue tone, or the little darker blue, and I'm just gonna go around the edges on the bottom of the snow. And then I'm gonna take the purple, and then I'm gonna blend it in. But you have to be very light with it, because otherwise the purple is gonna be a little bit too strong. But I personally kind of like the purplish shimmer in the snow. Of course, you could also just make the snow in gray tones or just blue tones, or some people like turquoise tones for the snow, but I don't know, I just like this one. I sometimes do the snow in different colors as well, but this is kind of like my favorite. And then the light blue, and then I'm gonna go over everything. But you have to leave something a little bit here that you don't color, that you leave white. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the white polychromos, or any kind of white, and again I go over it. And then I also go into the white part. And then what I like to do, I also like to go over it with the German Drawing Chinese white, because I feel like it makes it even whiter. Okay, and then for the final step, I like to take a white gel pen. I think the gel pen is better than the Posca one that I have because it's thicker, and I like it better if there are like thick lines that cover the snow. And then I just basically, oh my god, this is already run out, I think. Go around all of the lines. I think my gel pen is a little bit out of gel actually, so it looks better actually when it's not so flaky. And then sometimes what I like to do is go over the snow part with glitter, but I'm not gonna do that now. So I'm gonna do now the rest of the snow, and then I'm gonna come back. Okay, so let's go and do the snowman, but actually I used the same kind of colors that we just used for the snow part here. I'm just gonna use them on the snowman and the snow around here. So again, we're gonna start with on the edges with the middle blue tone. You have to remember always to leave some kind of white space. Okay, like that, and then again the light purple. And then the lightest blue. And like I said, you can do it stronger or less strong. Depends on how much you want these colors to actually show through. So you basically leave this white part in the middle and then again just go over it with the white. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing now with the snow on the bottom. So actually it's very simple, and I don't think I have to explain it again, so just follow the one that I explained here for all the snow parts, and I'm gonna finish that and then we're gonna finish the snowman. Okay, so now to the arms and the face of the snowman. I am gonna use 3 colors, the Bister, actually I would use the Van Dyke Brown, but I cannot find it right now, and the Dark Sepia. Okay, so I'm just gonna base the woods or these little stones, whatever they are, with the Bister. Or maybe not. No, maybe not. Just the arms. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the brown and kind of create a little shadow on the arms. And then again blend in the Bister. Like I said, you can do it a little bit more thoroughly. I always have to rush a little bit when filming because my camera can't film for such a long time, and it's also very awkward for me to color like that. So I'm just gonna give you like a rough idea on how I color it. Doesn't mean you have to color it like that. But of course, normally I would take a little bit more time and do it a little bit more thoroughly. Okay, and then for these little stones, I take the Dark Sepia. Maybe just the brown a little bit first. Yeah. I think the Van Dyke Brown would have been better because this is a very reddish kind of brown. And then I'm gonna go over it with the dark sepia. Gonna also put in a little bit bistre to, I don't know, I don't like the reddish color too much. Okay, so for the Santa Claus head, I am gonna use white, then, oh no, that's the wrong one, the pebbles that we had. The pebbles are a warm gray, and then the red violet and the deep scarlet red again. So I'm gonna start with the whiter part. I already lined up with Posca now. And I'm just gonna add some shadow, a little bit. Okay, and then I go over with white. Okay, and then for this part, I'm gonna base everything with deep scarlet red. And then I create some shadow with the red violet. Okay, and then for the carrot nose, I'm gonna use cadmium yellow, cadmium orange, and dark cadmium orange. So then I'm gonna base it with the yellow very lightly, and then I take the dark cadmium orange and I go around it. And then I'm gonna blend it in with the cadmium orange. I kind of lost some footage here, but basically I took the light blue and the little bit darker blue and the purple and the pink that we used before to create the colors of the scarf and to create a little bit shadow with that, and then I outlined it with the white Posca. And for the cat, I used the cream, the burnt ochre, and the cadmium orange. I never colored a orange cat before, so I don't know if it's real, if it really looks like an orange cat, but these were the colors that I used. I then took the light blue and dark blue soft pastel and tried to create a background. I usually never worked with those, so I wanted to try it. My technique is really bad, so I would not recommend to try to replicate it because I have no idea what I'm doing here. But I thought, even though it looks very streaky and weird, I think it kind of created the effect of a snowstorm, and I think that in the end actually fit well with the image. And lastly, I used some gouache to actually create a little bit of snowflakes. So if you like this video, please give a like, comment, and subscribe because this was quite a lot of work. And yeah, at the end here, this is the final result. I hope you like it, and until the next time, bye bye.